transported to a foreign land, stripped of her dignity and paraded like a circus animal for entertainment even in death. This was the slow, deliberate exploitation of Sara Baartman. This is not the story of a murder with blood on the floor. This is a crime without handcuffs. A crime that unfolded slowly, legally, and in plain sight, applauded by polite society, justified by science, and excused as progress. Sara Baartman was born around 1789 in what is now South Africa, a Khoikhoi woman in a land already being carved apart by colonial rule. By the time she was a young adult, her world had been reduced to just survival. Power did not sit in her hands, choice never truly belonged to her. So when European men offered her passage across the ocean, promises of work, money, and opportunity, the question is not why she agreed. The real question is, what choice did she actually have? By 1810, Sara is no longer a woman in her own story. She is an exhibit in London. She is paraded before paying crowds under the name, the Hottentot Venus. A grotesque contradiction, Venus, the goddess of beauty, paired with a slur meant to reduce her to something less than human. She is made to stand, to turn, to be examined. Not touched with curiosity, but with entitlement. People laugh, whisper, point, scientists take notes, and aristocrats nod approvingly. This is not hidden in alleyways or backrooms. It happens under chandeliers, in halls of learning, in the heart of civilized Europe. And everyone involved has clean hands. Or so they claim. Let's investigate. Who profited? The men who transported her. The show owners who sold tickets. The institutions that drew crowds by advertising her body as proof of racial hierarchy. Who looked away? The audience. The courts. The society that told itself this was voluntary, that this woman on display had agreed to be reduced to a spectacle. When abolitionists challenged her exhibition in court, Sara was brought forward to testify alone. Surrounded by the very people who controlled her fate. She said she was there by choice. But a confession extracted under power is not the truth, it's survival. And the court accepted it. Case closed, or so they thought. The years grind her down. Her dignity eroded by daily humiliation. Her humanity debated in pamphlets and lecture halls. Her body treated as evidence in a twisted argument that black people were closer to animals than humans. Then, in 1815, at just 26 years old, Sara Baartman dies. That should have been the end of the crime, but it wasn't. Death did not free her. Instead, it opened the door to the most chilling chapter of all. Her body is claimed by science. Dissected by Georges Cuvier, one of the most respected scientists of his time. Her brain removed, her skeleton prepared, parts of her body preserved in jars, studied, measured, displayed. Not in secret but in museums. For decades, visitors stroll past her remains as if she were an object, not a person who once breathed, laughed, feared, and hoped. Generations come and go while Sara Baartman stays trapped behind glass, a prisoner of death. This is no longer exploitation. This is a post-mortem crime against humanity. More than a century passes. Empires fall. Laws change. The world claims to be better now. And still, her remains sit in France. It takes international pressure, years of protest, and the voice of a newly free South Africa to demand what should never have been taken. In 2002, almost 200 years after she was first displayed, Sara Baartman finally comes home. She is laid to rest on her ancestral land. No crowds, no tickets, no stage lights, just soil and silence. So now the investigation ends with a question that refuses to stay buried. If this wasn't a crime, why did it require force? Why did it require lies? Why did it survive only because the powerful said it was legal? And why, after all these years, does it still feel like justice arrived far too late? Because some crimes don't leave fingerprints. They leave history. And Sara Baartman paid the price, long after her death.